All right. So your initial question was, how do you approach kind of like a new patch, in terms of
Mhm.
like both like line selection and also just through kind of like meta read? Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, I think my patch reads are like really bad. Like I'll like skim through the patch notes and I'll just look at what's like been nerfed and what's been buffed, and then I go off based off those figures there. But I never really get it right. What I think is strong ends up being weak, and what I think is just being like butchered, like still ends up being like a pretty strong line.
I see. Well, having an initial, I would say like an initial estimate on what the meta would look like is definitely very helpful. But the most important part to this is being able to adapt to the meta as it stabilizes.
Yeah.
So what I do right away is, as you mentioned, I look at the patch notes, and you can draw an initial conclusion, but you cannot know right away, at least 100% exactly like how things are gonna actually be. Like for example, you see stuff like this. It's like, okay, Darius LeBlanc nerf, like Twisted Fate nerf. You already think like, okay, when one thing goes up and another, when one component of a composition gets buffed and another component of a composition gets nerfed, usually that indicates like an adjustment, not necessarily like an overall comp nerf or buff, but an adjustment to how the comp is played. So for example, like, oh, you see like TF is buffed, Greaves is nerfed. Okay, the bilge line is probably, maybe we'll see like TF as the main carry now, which happens to be the case. And then like Darius LeBlanc, you see like, okay, these two like pretty weak units were buffed, but is Noxus actually playable? So it's great to have like these sort of conclusions, and then when you look at the actual changes to the compositions or any changes to the actual trait or the unit slash items, I think around 10 to 15% of a change is already like a pretty big deal. Anything more than this is actually going to be pretty substantial. So what was a clear example? Okay, let's take a look at like Bard's Reroll, right? So instead of looking at changes just like numerically, you have to look at them as a percentage. So yeah, anything within the 10 to 15% range is usually like pretty over. Also, you have to take into consideration how many changes were done to the unit. So for example, like look at this, like Tridomir, spell based durability almost is cut in half, like a little bit less than half, so it's probably reduced by like 40%. His spell damage is also nerfed, and then his like movement speed is also nerfed, so it's like a triple one. So
Mhm.
initial like would be like, oh, that's over. Something that is like very stuff like this, you can see like, okay, this is no longer a 10 to 15% nerf slash buff. This unit is probably gutted. And
Yeah.
then this is where you need to make like, and then you need to follow up on your research or your conclusion. Like, okay, like these nerfs are huge. They're larger than the like expected one. And then you check that exactly how the unit is doing. It's like, okay, last patch, like there's like 2-3 dyna players, 4.27, pretty average for a 4 cost. On the new patch, it averages 0.8 worse, which is crazy. So yeah,
Yeah.
this is how you kind of figure it out. The very last example that I'll show here is through like items. So anything that has like a big deal towards it. So like Darkened Sight Slash can no longer really clearly strike or apply on hit effects. So something like this is a pretty big deal.
Mhm.
So yeah, just keep these in mind. And the same thing for augments. Like usually augments will be just dependent on like the percentage. So like stuff like this is like, okay, like this is not that big of a deal. This is like kind of a big deal. Actually, that's a pretty big deal. Like Birthday Reunion definitely is not as good anymore. So yeah, this is how you approach a new patch, and then you should do a little bit of extra due diligence on keeping up with the meta through some sort of resource. It does not have to be like through actual coaching. It could be through reviewing like TFT content online. It could be through watching a guide, through watching like a TFT streamer that you like. All of that is
Yeah.
fine. So all of this put together, along with your own experiences, just like through playing the game of the new patch, should help you like figure out how to, I guess, kind of how to navigate the new game or the new patch.
Yeah. Cool. That all makes sense.
Okay, so let's get into this VOD here. Do you know the opening encounter, or do you remember it?
Uh, no, I can't remember. No,
Okay,
not
nope,
too sure.
no problem.
It might have been early augments from memory.
Yes, it is early augments. I remember on stage 2.
Yeah.
Okay, these initial drops are okay. Tristana is very, very low. She's very low priority. Yordles, you could play into one of the strongest lines in the game, which is like Rise Ziggs. However, the individual Yordles are pretty weak. Like you take a look at like Tristana, you take a look at Lulu. Like Teemo's actually pretty okay, and then Poppy's alright. But the individual units are extremely weak. So when you're holding Yordles or looking to play around Yordles, it's kind of like an all or nothing thing. You either gets like a large influx of Yordles right away. Usually this means that you have at least 3 Yordles. So this is both one cost, so Rumble and Lulu, plus one of the 2 costs, so Tristana or Teemo. And then Teemo is a lot better because this is an AP line where you slam AP items. So then having the Tristana is just going to be there for the trait. So this is how you interpret this. Echo is a must hold. Although sometimes you can't win with this unit, sometimes it casts like a little low if you can't get to Ziggs. This is an extremely stable line on the current patch. Have you played any Echo reroll yet?
No, I haven't. I've seen it on stream, but I wouldn't be confident enough to play it.
Okay, I'll give you the quick like 1 minute rundown. There is essentially this is what I think you should go for almost every game, and then you have some flex slots. So this is usually a loose streak line, and the reason why this is a loose streak line is because there is some items. There's an item framework like guideline that you want to be going on to Echo, which is the old like the old Diana items. It's not 100% strict, but you really need Titans. Titans is his most important item. It doesn't have to be BT, it could be any healing, and it doesn't have to be Rage Blade, but you want to ideally go for this, which means that to get this, you need to have item priority on carousel, so usually lose streak. The other thing is like for 2 costs, if you're leveling to 6 on 3-2 and then sending it, you need a lot of money. So it's pretty common to like 6 slots into this, and then the final reason is you need to be unlocking Singed, so you need to be at like 65 HP.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I think from memory, considered it, but I think I might have got dropped a glove and a chain. So then I just kind of scratched it because I just didn't have the items to make it work.
Okay, so the glove is still fine. Like you can make jewel gauntlets. And then the reason why is you want to go for Nico 3 and then like carry around the Nidalee as well. And then chain is his best or half of his best item. So it's still perfectly fine. Like you don't have to strictly slam like BT Titan Rage. You can make something like this, and then when you get your Nidalee, you can like fix up your items. So more of like your Bruiser ones are on Echo, and your Assassin ones are on Nidalee.
Gotcha.
Okay, for the rest of the board, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is going to be like your main core. There are a couple of packages that you can play. So the first one is going to be the most common, which is just Cho'Gath Malzahar. If we take a read at 3 Zon, 3 to 5 Zon, it's not overwhelmingly strong, and the quality of the units are okay. Like you'll play extra frontline like the Blitzcrank and the Mundo, so it's okay. I would probably only play 5 Zon when I have specifically Silco's. So if you have Silco's Revenge, where it's like the Zionites explode into like on death, then you want to be number 1 going for Blitzcrank 3, so then he gets a lot of HP, and then when he explodes, he does a lot of damage, but also playing Vertical Zon. So if that were the case, then I would play package number 2 here. So this is your default package. You also must check what like the void mod is. Malzahar is like a good holder of items. So if you are like Singed 1 with no other tank items and you have like a void staff, I would much rather put it onto Malzahar than Singed, because Singed can sometimes just die. Okay, so package number 1, package number 2, you have your Hyrule package, and this is going to be Swain plus the Seraphine. So if we take these out, you'll see what the traits look like. You'll now have Piltover, which is huge. You'll still have Juggernaut with the Swain, and then you'll also have Arcanist, which is insane because of how well your team scales with AP. So these are your main packages. You should be looking to play around one of these. This is your Hyrule one, and then usually you'll end up playing around this, unless you hit your 4 quests like this. As soon as you hit Nidalee, you want to be putting some items on her, and hopefully you're close to level 7 by the time, or okay, the better way to say it is hopefully you're close to like Echo 3 by the time you're Nico 3. And then if you hit Echo 3 way ahead of tempo, then you will not stay behind for Nico and you'll just push levels. In terms of your positioning, you should be looking to do... Where is Nidalee? Ah, she's here. You should be looking to position something like this. And then you have like your Swain here, like Seraphine, same side. This looks pretty good to me. Something like, yeah, this is pretty good. And then the way you want to position is you want Singed to be the same side as their enemy carry, especially backline. Like melee still works as well, unless like they're not very strong and you think you could drain tank. Also dependent on your build, but you'll be usually swapping like this. Oops. Usually swapping like this. And making sure that Singed is on the same side as the enemy carry. And then I'll show a quick clip of why this is important. Singed will basically... He will basically draw the aggro of your... or of the enemy. So let's take a look at a fight here in stage 4 against some of these Yunara boards. Okay, maybe it does onto this. Okay, some MF, see? So it forces them to walk up. And then this is really good because now when you have the Swain, it'll be even easier to stun. Like look where the MF is. Like she is in super vulnerable range, and she's forced to walk up, and that allows your other units like your Vi and your Swain to get huge AoE effect. Like, you know, on my third Vi cast knocks up their Misfortune with this positioning, and then this is like fight changing, and is definitely like a tech you must do. And this is like my level 6 board, everything is like 2-star, and then this is their true 0 board on level 8 for one with double econ. So yeah, this is the Echo board. Definitely go for it. And then as you go up, you'll just be looking to cap around Ziggs. So you play Ziggs, and then you can put your secondary items on him. Seraphine is also a good carry as well. Both are fine. And then put some assassin items on the Nidalee. So usually these move over. So this is the Echo line. To play into it, the more important things is not actually the copy of Echo, it's your items. So if we look at this, the Echo is great. This is kind of like securing your spot online for something. Like people take a look over at your board and they're like, okay, this guy already has an Echo. So that's a good thing about it. However, it's more so the items that are going to be the main factor, because even if you have like an early Echo 3, if you don't have good items for him, then it doesn't really do anything. Okay, when we get dropped any Void or Ionia units, we must check them ASAP. Do you remember what it was this game?
This one was XP.
Okay, so XP Ionia, and then what about the Void?
I didn't check the Void mod.
Okay, so the Void mod is extremely influential on whether or not you should be playing Void. So there are a lot of Void lines actually. I might as well show you real quick. Instead of building up the board, maybe I have everything already saved. I don't really have everything saved. Okay, but basically there's a Kaisa line where you play around the Kaisa. This will be if your Void mod is Spitter. And then ideally you want to be playing AD Kaisa with some form of like this build or like Guard Breaker. This is really strong. And for your Void mods, the way it works is you'll always have a mix of one offensive and one defensive on your 2 to 4 breakpoint. So it's completely random, and then also every player in the game has a different void setup. So you cannot look at someone else's void and then be like, okay, like, oh, I'm spitter on 2, I'm in. You have to check for yourself. And then the 6th, or I guess let me make this a bit larger. Your 6 breakpoints. So your 3rd mod will always be offensive. So it'll be your 2nd offensive here, and then you have your 1st tank, 1st damage on 1 to 2, 2 to 4. So definitely check what that is. In terms of ranking, Carapace is much better than Husk. So here, gain 200 HP and then gain resistances equated to a percentage of your max health. This is insane on the Rift Herald. You have to remember that on his cast, it's not a heal, it's an increase of his max health. So every time he casts, basically just gives him extra armor and magic resist as well. Compared to Royal Husk, which just drops you a little voidling 25% of the max unit. So it's pretty important to check your void mod to see like whether or not the void line would be playable. And then there's a couple of versions. So the first one would be playing into Singed. And Singed and AD Kaisa. So it looks like the level 8 at least looks like this. Kog'Maw, and you're missing an extra Juggernaut Void. Okay, so this is the first one where you put your offensive mod onto your Kaisa, your defensive mod. Hopefully, like these two are the super bists. So if you have Iron Carapace and the Spitter, so this is what you want to do, and then you put your actual tank items onto the Rift Herald. So Spirit Visage, kind of the same thing here. This is a regeneration of missing health, and he has so much HP, so a percent of a lot is also a lot. So that's why Spirit Visage is better than Warmogs on him. This is like his true best. And then in terms of anti-heal, you just want to put like Umbrella on the Singed. And then on level 9, you'll be dropping the Blitzcrank and then playing Shyvana and the Ziggs. And then this is your true cap. And then you'll move your AP items onto, you move any AP items you have onto 6. And then this is your board. So this is the main void line that I would say. There are a couple other ones. There's like the Slayer one. So I don't want to go too in-depth into this. But basically there's one where you could play around like Bel'Veth, and then now you actually have a real tank. And then you can flex your other units depending on what your 4th void is. So like if your 4th void is a good like Bel'Veth one, which is honestly like she uses all of them like pretty well, so you could do this and then like flex your other units, and then you could play around the Slayers as well. There's also a Seraphine version. I know some people don't like it, so I'll leave it for now, but it's basically a bronze for life board. So a few ways you could play void, but you definitely need to check your mod as soon as you get dropped a void unit to see which version of void that you should be looking to play into, and like if you should be playing into void.
Cool.
So
a couple of follow-up questions on that board, but the first board.
yeah,
Why is the AD Kaiser synergizes better with the Spitter version rather than the AP version?
yeah, great question. So let's see. So after dealing 1000 damage, fire spikes at the 2 nearest enemies, dealing 111 physical damage. So there's a couple of things to note into this. AD Kaisa is front loaded. So this means that for AD Kaisa, your damage from your first cast will be the same damage as your damage from your final cast. So because of this, you're able to proc Spitter like really fast. Like your first cast, like you're guaranteed to proc it as long as you have like some items on Kaisa. So that's number 1. Number 2, it deals physical damage. So because it's physical damage, you want to be building, well, you want to increase that. So with physical damage here, you want to be building like some sort of shred or some armor shred. And then if you're actually AD Kaisa as well, then it just works better. So physical damage, physical units with items, or like physical damage items, and then armor shred. The last one is if we're AP, if we're AP here, I actually don't think that Kaisa is able to basically like solo carry a fight. Like you see any of a AP Kaisa versus like the Demacia matchup, and AP Kaisa just cannot kill Garen. I think it's a pretty rough matchup in general, but it's really hard. Kaisa, AP Kaisa is backloaded. So you can't see it from her skill here, but as the fight continues, she'll be gaining more attack speed, and then with the more attack speed, she's able to proc her passive more and kind of do like the Kaisa passive from like League. So you're going to be proccing Spitter Spines like pretty late into the fight, as opposed to initially right away. So this is the first thing, or the main things with the Spitter. Nucleus is still good. I actually think with AD you proc it pretty fast, because like I was taking a look at the AD and AP from the Kaisa. It appears on her first cast, she basically like insta procs it. So I'm in for that. The one thing to remember with Leechy Nucleus is, although it's like 75% of a Gunblade in terms of healing your lowest health ally. So Gunblade is 20%, leeching is 15%. This does not include a self heal. So you actually still want to be building these items. And the reason why self heal is important is because there are a lot of devious fishes right now in the meta looking to hop onto our backline. The other thing is AD Kaisa will not only reposition herself, but she counters AD Fizz or Fizz really hard, because if you're same side, then you will at least like jump to safety with AD Kaisa, and then if you're opposite side, you will actually one shot the Fizz as you cast. So for example, if Fizz goes over here, Kaisa is guaranteed to have one cast before the Fizz's second cast. So what that means is Fizz will be in our backline, like around our third or second row, by the time Kaisa casts. And then Kaisa casts, she dashes to like this or this hex, and because Fizz is in our back row, he is the closest target. So he will eat the full Kaisa. He'll eat the full Kaisa cast along with the Spitter, like the Spitters if you have Spitter on him. So or on her. So yeah, this is basically the Kaisa line, and then it caps pretty high as well. The final thing is, yeah, AP Kaisa, you are stationary, so you kind of don't have any like defense mechanism against the Fizz other than like hoping your opposite side. This kind of positioning, if Fizz walks into your first row, so if he's on this hex, he walks into your first row, sometimes he goes left. So that's a bit safer. I ran the exact same simulation sometimes, and then he jumps here. So like the Fizz targeting, honestly, it might just be random, and it's not actually 4 hex, it's like 3.5 hexes.
Yeah. So just to summarize that line selection, if it's leeching Nucleus, lean into AP. If it's a Spitter, lean into AD, and then don't play it if it's the damage amp mod.
I wouldn't say like you have to lean into either one of those. Like when you're playing this line, I actually think you should be playing around Rek'Sai early. So Rek'Sai, and then playing like something like this, because with AD items, you want to put it on like an AD unit. So then putting like an IE is like kind of suspicious on the Kog'Maw. If you have like the Shojin, then like that's fine. So I think you should be looking to play into Rek'Sai with this, and then dependent, the mods are like both are fine. Like of course, Spitter is better, but I don't think you should just be like, okay, like leeching is AP, Spitter is like only AD. You should definitely just play around like what items you have, and then hopefully like they're AD items, and you just slam it on like the Rek'Sai. Like something like this is like perfectly fine.
Yeah, and do you avoid Void line if it's the damage amp one first up?
Yes. If Void is on number 2, I don't even hold the Void units unless they will like help me with just unless they're supporting units in the current board that I'm playing. So it's like if it's Juggernaut, etc., then I'll hold the Cho'Gath. Arcanist, I'll hold the Kog'Maw. But yeah, this is very bad. I actually think it's pretty good on like Bel'Veth. Like Bel'Veth doesn't have any innate damage amp, so if you're playing to Slayers, like this is fine, but not for Kaisa. Kaisa is already a long shot, and the other ones are just so much better for Kaisa.
Yeah, cool. And then can you still use Rage Blade on the AD version of Kaisa, or is it strictly for AP?
I would say strictly for AP. The AD Kaisa one is not even. She's not an auto attacker. She's just a caster. So you would much rather her have a Shojin. Yeah, Rage Blade is actually her worst item. So I do not
Okay.
believe this is a reasonable item on her.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, let's continue with the VOD now, shall we? So, Echo Drop, this is pretty good. You sold, oh, you didn't sell anything. You just picked up Kiana Pair. Okay, yeah, Kiana Pair is good. All right, yeah, so even though you haven't played like too much Echo, I definitely say like this is a very good line to go into. It's stable, it's very strong. Like once you're level to 6 and you can roll down, even on like 2 stars, you can win a lot of fights on stage 4. So this definitely looks good. I'd say the only like pretty rough matchup is Demacia. So if there's a lot of Demacia players, then maybe you don't angle into this, because melee units just do extremely bad into Garen.
Yeah.
Okay, in terms of holds here, so I would have just held the Echo. I would have sold the the Tristana, and then just picked up Viego and the Jin.
Okay. Yeah, I think I picked up literally just in case I got dropped another Yordle.
Yeah, that is. Did you really have the glove? I think. I think when okay, if you're gonna do this, you need to first like see like what the void is and if the Cho'Gath is even like applicable. So like if the Cho'Gath
Yeah.
is applicable, then I mean I would still also hold on to the Echo. But the thing with the Yordles is like if the Yordles come for free and like the package comes, then you could play into it. But it's not something that I would sacrifice holding other good units for, because like the Yordles are not guaranteed, but other units are like pretty stable. Okay, Sona 2 is good. If you hold the Sona, you must hold the Rumble, so you just field these is good. It is goal opener. Something that you can do at this point of the game is look at someone else's board, and if you see their item number does not match up to yours, or they have like a suspicious amount of gold or both. So this means like, oh, is someone already making 10, or do they have like a lot of 3 costs plus 2 costs? Then you can see like, oh, it's a gold opener. I should make sure that I don't have my bench like too full, so then I don't miss out on any units. And this is especially important when it's like component anvil start, because if it's component anvil start, like you have much less bench space, and then if it's a full bench, you run into the orb, it's a gold start, and you get the +6
Yeah.
gold instead of 3 costs. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Okay, so we got dropped a Jinx and a Milio. Okay, Milio is good. Jinx is an insta sell. Unless you're like you already have like an Echo 2 and with a slam on him, and he's basically just gonna like solo stage 2, and you just need his trait to be activated, Jinx will never be played. Like she's not a good unit. So I would just sell her, and then I'd pick up like these 3 here. But Milio's good. Like one Nico, and then you could play Ixtal, and then you don't even need to play like vertical or not vertical. You don't need to play for like the 500 cash. You could just play for a little bit and give you like an extra item or a TG. If you play like Sona Reroll, it could give you dupes. So just hold it here. You're 2 out of 3, and it's your likelihood of playing Milio is like 10. It's like 1,000x your likelihood of playing Jinx. Okay, so let's get into the Augment selection here. So we are Slayer pair, we are Jin pair with XP Ionia, but we don't have any of the Jins. We don't know what our Void is, and then we also have 2 stray Yordles. But something like this, it's like this is kind of what I mean by you don't have the latest that I would be looking to play into Yordle ideally, unless like everything works out, is when you already have 3 Yordle by this stage. Because plus a AP slam. If this is not the case, then it's really hard to play into Yordle. Because if you're here, you want to be unlocking Poppy, so then you can get 4 Yordle in on 2-1, and then this really like starts to spike your tempo, because like the natural Yordles will come, you'll like naturally upgrade your board, so that's good. But like something like this, you can never tailor your augments to be playing into like Yordles from here, and then even if you hit your 3rd Yordle, then it's like, okay, now you'd be unlocking Poppy on 2-1, and hopefully your augment lines up. So this is like kind of the risk with holding the Yordles. It's kind of like an all or nothing thing. If they come early, great, but I wouldn't hard force it. Okay, Tactician actually pretty good in the current meta because of the new emblems. I would skip left first. Living Forge definitely much worse on this patch, just because like stuff like Tryndamere is so much worse. However, there are a few units that can use it, like Echo. So if you had the Echo, then like maybe this is applicable. But here, I would say Priz Tickets is the main one here. It's also a super gold opener, so Priz Ticket has much more value because you just have more gold, so you can roll more. So okay, you do your due diligence. No one's taking Curse Crown, and then we're just Sona reroll from here. So in terms of when you should unlock Bard, with one cost reroll, you can use your free rolls if you get them on 2-1 or 2-2, because you're rolling for one cost. Like you're playing one cost reroll, so it's okay to roll on level 3 if the rolls are free.
Okay.
So with Priz Tickets, I think this next round you get a free roll. I would just roll here.
Okay. Yeah. I think I think I don't know what it was, but I watched a video somewhere where they say you either roll on 2-1 or 2-3. It's kind of trolled to roll on 2-2 because you should have rolled on 2-1. And I think I just had that rule stuck in my head, so I didn't end up rolling on 2-2. But the theory makes sense. If it's a free roll on level 3 with better odds, then you may as well do it.
Yes, exactly. I
Yeah.
think like what you just said is more applicable for like non-free reroll or non-free roll augment. But I would also say it's like it's pretty rare that you unlock Bard this patch. Like without free rolls, I would not even consider unlocking Bard because he's just too expensive now. And it's not that his price increased, but his yield is just much worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would just roll here, and then who knows? Like maybe like you stack up your free rolls, and there's hey man, if you're super lucky, maybe you unlock Bard here. You don't even need to use a real roll. You'll be picking up copies of like Sona and Jarvan. You could be thinking like, oh, I can make Econ here with 20, but then you're gonna be rolling next round anyway for the Bard if you're not rolling this round, so you will not be making 30. So it'll just be like true 1 gold that you're making. Okay. Also. Sonobis. Do you know what Sonobis is?
I heard it's double archangels with the gunblade,
Yes.
or you can just go triple AP.
Triple AP is a little bit more suspicious. Um, but her best items are going to be basically Gunblade or anything that gives her raw AP. Nash's, or sorry, not Nash's, JG is okay on her. Like she still does a lot of damage, but the main part of Sona's kit is not like how much damage she does, it's how much healing she provides to her Jarvan. And as a Demacia invoker, she does not have any sources of AP from anywhere. So this is why like Rabadons and like Archangels are just so good on her. In this case, this I would usually be looking to make Steadfast with this instead of Jewel
Okay.
Gauntlet, which means that I would not slam the glove onto the Sona. I would still 100% take Rod off of Carousel, but I would not be looking to make... Oops, spoiler. I would not be looking to make Jewel Gauntlet. I would just hold on to the Rod. Also,
Yep.
this here, I think you skipped your one of your best choices here. Water Axiom is insane on Sona. So
Mhm.
this is usually an augment that you skip because like just in general, like the axioms are not very good. But in this particular case, it is insane. So she will gain 3 mana regen, and she's an invoker, so she will gain 40% bonus of any mana regen. And then also this is a built-in void staff, so you no longer need to be building shred.
Mhm.
So this is
Okay.
very good, and it's more so the other ones don't really do anything. Like patience is a virtue is pretty good in early augs if your 2-1 already gives you some sort of like tempo, and then here you just take this and you don't have to roll. Caretakers is pretty bad because you're already level 4, and we're playing Sona reroll, so we don't need patience as virtue. We already have Priz Ticket, so I would roll 1 and 2 first, and then I would take Water Axiom.
Yep.
Okay, this is good. This is good. All right, Rod off Carousel, and then I would just not make the JG. Now, the thing with here is our current board is not very good. although we have a lot of copies of Sona, we're driving one with no items, and then like now we have a TG, but like the Poppy doesn't do, or like it's like Poppy one. The other thing is we're also playing Bard, so it's a lot harder to win with a Bard on this board, because with the Demacia line, you have infinite splashes. And what I mean by that is you're infinite 1 out of 2 of everything in this line. You could play Juggernaut, Invoker, Defender, Yordle. You could flex in like Bruiser. So later into the game, there's a lot you can do. So with the Bard, it's like kind of hard to win. What I'm getting at here is if you accidentally win this round and lose the next round, that is not good for our econ.
Yeah, I
So
think that might have happened. The reason for taking the Thieves' Gloves, I checked it on Rumble to unlock the Poppy to just get the 2 items. What are your thoughts on that?
So that would be good if we're looking to win, but with
Yep.
our current stage of the board, we because I think Jewel Gauntlet is not a reasonable slam at this point, at least not before Archangel or Rabdon or Gunblade. I would not be looking to make the slam, or I would not be happy with the
Yep.
slam. And if I'm not happy with the slam, then our board will be weak. And if our board is weak, then I'm just looking to 5 loss. So I don't need to play my strongest, which is the Poppy. Now, that being said, what you can do is just unlock Poppy on 2-7 before you roll on 3-1, and then you would have Poppy unlocked, and then you could roll for like your Poppy 2 with your other units.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But if you're winning, if you're on like a streak somehow, I don't know, like everyone's open, or yeah, I actually don't know how you'd be on a streak, but who knows? Sometimes crazy stuff happens. Then you should be looking to lock Poppy and play your strongest. All right, let's see. Does Bard print us a Sona or a Jarvan here? Winning with Bard and 1 cost reroll is much better than losing with Bard. Yeah, we got a Jarvan here. Okay, this is pretty good. All right, now we have 3 free rerolls. You should scout around to see if a diff is anything. Okay, use your free rerolls. This is good. This is good. Okay, Zinjao pair, or it's not Zinjao pair. Poppy pair and this. Okay, you need to scout and see does this 2-star or this 3-star swing a fight. Most of the time, this will swing a fight. You can scout here and you can roll like 1 or 2 more times. Like if Poppy 2 is a diff, then with Priz Ticket here, you could roll like I would roll like 2 to 4 more times of like I'll probably roll like twice. Like by the time you usually get a Priz tickets, but basically you really want to win the next round, because if you're lose, win, lose, and then you get like Sona 3 soon, and then you're back to winning. Like you can easily 2 streak here into Sona 3 on 3-1, and then like streak all of stage 3. And then here, I do believe that this is either a Poppy or a a Sona 3. Well, definitely a Sona 3 def. This is pretty close with Poppy 2. I think you win.
Yeah.
Okay, we go into this.
Just going back to before, if I lost round 4, would I even bother trying to upgrade the Sona and the Poppy, or just take the 5 loss?
Oh, you should. I think you should take the 5 loss.
Yeah.
That also puts it so you don't have any. You could really take your time with like upgrading everything, and you don't have to. There is now no urgency to make like a strong initial board. Okay. You hold. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, you can't make econ. And we got dropped a full Archangels here, which is crazy. Okay, here I just use my free rerolls. It's good. Okay, Arvin. Okay. Our next order of business will be to put an Invoker in, and then usually the level 5 board without free rolls is just Rumble plus like usually a Nivea too. So have we been skipping Niveas? It's kind of we can't really hold them. Okay, so yeah, I
I didn't
would.
realize till after. I think I skipped Emilio as well.
Yeah, the Milio is a fine skip. I think Anivia and Milio's like outputs is reasonably similar. However, one is just 3x cost of the other one. Here, I would not level. Why do you think that is?
To keep econ.
Mm,
Or it
Econ
doesn't
is
make your
part of
build
it.
stronger. It doesn't make your build overly stronger as well.
Yes. If this was like a Rumble or an Invoker, then that's more reasonable. But this Ninja here, it does not do anything.
Yeah.
Also, we're on a 1 loss, so there's no there's no there's no urgency to like initially win this round. If you had two streaked previously, then there's more incentive to level. But I think Sona 3 with this setup is usually you could beat any like 3-1 board unless they're like level 6, like 2-star everything Godzilla. So this is fine. All right. So you load into this. So we have like econ through rolls, but we don't really have gold, and then we have kind of combat through Band of Thieves. Here I would just look to take last second save. For a stall comp, anything helps. Now you could just take Slamming. Yeah, this is good. There's a little bit of merit to Mace as well because you have jeweled Lotus. But yeah, this is fine. All right, I would stay behind for the Jarvan. I think the Jarvan 3 is really important in this line for a couple of reasons, and you can easily hit this round. Like you might go down to like 30 gold, but with Slamming that is fine. Jarvan 3 does a few things. Number one, you're very far away from a Garen 2. So before your Garen 2, you need to have some sort of tank. Also, you're 5 copies. Like it's not that bad. You're only 4 off. If you're like Sona 3 and then you're just 3 copies of Jarvan, or you don't have like Priz ticket, I'm out of there. And then I would just push instead. But here, like you will hit the Jarvan much easier than you think you will. So this will be your main tank until Garen 2, which is very far away. That's number one. Number two, this will help you unlock Galio 1-star level sooner. And that is really important. So like if you don't hit like the Vayne 2 or you don't hit one of the 4-cost Demacias, but you have like everything else upgraded, then you can unlock Galio 1 turn earlier. And that's really important. The very last one is Jarvan 3 is just a beast. If you take a look at his ability, the attack speed he gives goes from 20 at 1-star, 25 at 2-star, and it multiplies by 2x on 3-star to 50% attack speed for the whole team. Like this is insane. And then it just keeps working with the Jarvan and the Sona. Like Sona heals the Jarvan, Jarvan shields, gives attack speed to the Sona, Sona casts again, and we just go round and around in a like Archangel stall comp sort of like carousel.
Yeah, gotcha. I think spoiler, but I think I end up giving up on the Jarvan 3 was I just didn't think it was that important. But yeah, it's good to note that if the Garen's far away, that I should be chasing that.
Yeah, it's just very consistent. Like you just want consistency with this, or consistency with your front line, or like just some stable thing. Okay, Rod or Sword here is good. I think Rod is
You're tossing up between Swain and Rod, and I think I end up going the Rod.
yeah, I think you just like by stage 4, if you don't have 3 Sona items, I think we'd be in trouble. So this is good. All right. I mean, we tempo on the way up. Like it's fine. You hold these Jarvans. Oh, we lost here. Yes. This is a Thanos board. Okay, we unlocked the Kobuko. Yeah, Kobuko is better than Milio. Okay, this is good. All right, I think we sack 1. We sack 1, maybe 2, depending on how contested we are. Okay, this is usually just going to be... I think you just make the Spark Archangel, and then you go for anti-heal.
I think I did it the other way. I think I did Rabadon's Void Staff, and then I just kept Open Cloak.
Okay, the problem with that though,
I've got too many offensive items.
it's not so much that you have too many offensive items, it's now we just don't have enough. We don't have any frontline items. Or it's like, okay, that it kind of means the same thing, but our frontline, like this is a stall comp, so like frontline items are extremely important. Like yes, this is great. Void Staff is actually much more important in... Okay, so let me explain something real quick. So there are 2 like kind of like debuffs. So there's like anti-heal, and then there's like shred, right? Anti-heal is more important in kind of like slower comps, while like shred is more important in like burst comps. And the reason why this is in burst comps you're basically just trying to like run through your enemy's board by just like raw damage, right? So by like shredding them, usually they don't have a chance to like slowly heal back up with if your board is really bursty. But if your board is slower or like ramping, then you don't need the like shred is still good, but you are actually prioritizing like anti-heal a bit more because you're not going to be bursting through their board, so then their frontline or their whatever can like slowly heal back up. Also on our board, like damage is not the problem on our board. Like we have infinite damage. It's our frontline. So then here with Spark, like Spark's not even a bad item. Spark gives like a reasonable amount of magic resist, and it's an AP meta right now. So I think it's 35. Yeah, 35 magic resist, 250 HP. Like this is not bad. And although it gives like shred, which kind of contradicts what I just said, we can. It's a frontline item, and I would rather save the tier. Like I think it just works out better. You just make Archangel, then Spark, and then now you can play around bow, and then go for like red buff.
Yep. Okay, that makes sense.
I just want to have two. Like this is what this basically does is it still gives you 3 item Sona, but it also gives you 2 item frontline. Okay, you love a hero on roll. I like that you kept the Jarvans. You sack one more. 12 gold, 6 roll here. I think oh, you have the Jarvan 3. Okay, sorry, let me rephrase. If you had the Jarvan 3, I would love to roll here because then you'd be very close to Galio. So let's count. So 3, 6, 8, 10, 11. It would have been 11. Now we would be at 10. So this means, I mean, actually, if you level roll, you hit Vein 2 plus 1 of the 4 costs. No, I think you should do this here. With all the unlocks, you have to add like basically a +1 onto it for the rounds, because like you need to play your board and then it unlocks after. So you have a really large amount of gold. Like with Priz tickets, like your level 7, 50 gold, 40 out of 60 on 4-2, you have more than enough. And you don't have to true send it. You just have to roll enough to unlock Galio. So it'd be 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10. So you just have to you just have to find one vein and then either one Garen or one Lux on level 8. Like this is it's very, very like, I mean, it's guaranteed. If you don't find this, then I'm quitting TFT.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of my thought process around the time. In my head, I was like, a Galio 1 wasn't going to change a fight. Like in my experience playing Demacia boards, I just feel like the Galio 1 doesn't make a huge difference. So I was going to save a bit more and send it to hopefully get a Garen 2 or a Lux 2.
Okay, Galio is insane. And then
Even
this yes, most games do not end with Galio 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy is really, really good. Even with Galio 1, like you can still like this is fine. It's better than, I mean, yeah, Galio 1 is still fine. Yeah. And then you actually have someone better to put your Thieves Gloves on. Okay, so we roll this turn. Okay, now we want to get the Bard out. Okay, wait, let me review this again. Are we missing anything? So this. You should. I think you should hold on to the. Lysandra. I think that Kobuko is actually better here than Lysandra because you're going to be putting your voice staff onto your Lux ideally. Like you can hold both, but unless you hit Lysandra too, I would rather play the Kobuko. If you have like extra set of AP items, then you can go for like this Lysandra. This is fine for 1 round. Yeah, this is good. But yeah, unless you have like an extra set of AP items, like on top of this, then I would much rather play like the Koboko. Like Koboko heals, Koboko gives attack speed. Like Lysandra 2 is like good, but I think we just want more frontline, and then you just put your items on Lux instead. But yeah, but then again, if you have Lysandra 2, then I'm in. But I think you should hold both. Like Koboko 1 would be better. All right, this is a good one here. You must hold onto everything. Like I would still hold onto these Jarvans. Oh my god, were you given the chance for a spat? Oh, I think you're in a reasonable enough. You should take the Shyvana here for sure. You're in a reasonable enough spot where like even if you lose the next two due to not having a second front item, you will be so strong starting stage 5 with the Demacia +1. Also, did we hit the Garen 2 very late? We need to move these items over to the Garen.
Yeah, no, that was my bad. I just didn't have the APM to transfer it over.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so we get the Shyvana here. I want to show you quick Jarvan position, or not Jarvan, Garen positioning. So let's see. Okay, so this is one of my earlier games. So this is a Temple Demacia game, so I'm not playing around the Sona 3. I want to show you the Garen positioning here. All right, so I take max builds. Okay, let's skip ahead a little bit. I 4-5'd it. Okay, now I roll for my Garen. I think this is... Okay, this is my transition turn. Okay. This is how you want to be positioning your Garen. In my opinion. Maybe people have different opinions, but the reason why is you really want the enemy tanks to be clumping around Garen. Doesn't even need to be the tanks, it could just be the enemy here. And then you see here, like I don't have an extra set of like AP items, so I don't even hold on to the Lysandra. I just play the Koboko instead. Like so much more utility. He's also like Yordle. But this is how you want to position, and you want to be like, you really want to be on the opposite side of your opponent's like front line. So for example, if these were swapped, like if I was like completely swapped across the y-axis here, then my Garen would still be in the same spot, but then there would be units, instead of on this side, it'd be over here. Now they are hitting not my main tank, and Garen is only spinning on like a few units. Well, here what ends up happening, I even move over because I want my Swain. I want my Swain to try to hit the Kai'Sa, but then I realize it's AD Kai'Sa, and then middle Swain is fine. Being able to shred the resistances of this Volibear is really good. Like it makes him so squishy, or even any like melee unit, it makes him like extremely squishy. So this is the sort of positioning that you want to be going for.
Yeah.
And then I just default like this. So like this is side diff for sure. If I'm flipped on the y-axis, I think I lose this 100%. So this is how you should be positioning with Garen.
Okay. Would you still position like that if you were Sona 3 carry?
Yeah, that's the same thing. This is technically, this is not even that good for Lux positioning, but I think like with the Lux positioning, sometimes you have to grief like your positioning a little bit too much. This is usually gonna be your board with with Lux. So where's Swain and Koboko? Okay, so what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Usually with the then just ignore the Galio for now. Usually with the Lux positioning, it's like closer to this, where it's like you want them to wrap around your Garen like here, and then Lux does this beam. It's a little risky, especially now with like Slayers becoming more popular, where if the Slayer's on this side, like this Koboko over here is not saving you. And then vice versa, this side is actually a little safer if you go like this. So then they clump all around here, and then Lux gets this beam like this. The only reason why I position like this against the Bilgewater player here is because regardless, like if my Lux is on the right side, I could just hit their entire team, as opposed to if it's on the left side here. So that's why you want to do it like this. But like Garen should always be on the outside, so that way he's able to hit as many units as possible, and like just tank. Like he gains an insane amount of durability during his cast, so he'll tank, but he will also be shredding, which is extremely important. So yeah, Shyvana with Spat here. Even if you lose the next two, then I think your combat is so insane on 5-1. Okay, that's good. You don't have Lux 2 yet. Alright, this is fine. You can going 9 here is actually good. This is very good. I would not continue to roll an 8. Alright, just sack 1. Whoa. Okay, I don't think we're in any rush to immediately go on 9 here.
Yeah. Okay.
Like you can actually cap out your board pretty high, even without the +1. So it will be Xinjiao and Poppy out. So this guy's just on your bench, right? So Xinjiao, Poppy out. You want to end on 5 Demacia. So it's going to be a mix. It's just going to be legendary units. So Shyvana will go over the Poppy for Juggernaut with Swain. You have the Zillion already, so this is good. And then now you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you have 2 extra slots. You just play whatever you hit. Like if you hit an Annie 2 with items, you could play the Annie plus the Tibbers. But usually it's just gonna be like Fiddlesticks plus the Lucian. And then you play around like this as your final board, and it's very strong. Like this is now your capped board, and there's a lot of legendaries, so you need the gold to hit.
Why Lucian was, even if it doesn't synergize with the board, is it still a strong solo unit?
Yeah, he's a very strong splash unit. He gives, even though his like last whisper effect, like his armor shred was nerfed, he still gives everyone 7% damage reduction, and then after the cast he gives everyone 7% damage amp. So he's just insane, and there's just not really a better unit to play. Like you're not playing any of the other legendaries. Like Azir doesn't do anything, Kindred doesn't do anything, Ornn doesn't do anything, and then, well, that's it.
Yeah.
So he's good. Garen positioning, very important. Must put him on the outside, and then must have the units wrap around him. Declaw. Oh, you already have Declaw. Okay, let's pop this.
I think I.
Okay, this is good. Yeah.
Train and just hope for a reforge.
Yes.
Get a tank item.
Good. This is very good. Rule number 1: no gargoyle in Demacia.
Yeah.
Or especially no gargoyle on Garen. Like he's basically built in like 10 gargoyles from just Demacia and Defender.
Yeah.
All right. This is a level. Is it even a level diff? What did we level for? Oh, we level for a Braum. Okay, this is not a level diff. We can just, yeah, we would have won this round even if we sacked. And then we would have been able to cap out our board a lot harder. You're going for the Garen 3? We are very poor. I mean, each round you will just use your free rolls. You did you not find any 5 costs at all? Like Braum was the only unit we found on 5-1. Let's take a look here.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. So I was looking for the like Shyvana or a Fiddle specifically.
Yeah, those are very good. You know, like melee units have such a hard time into the Demacia comp. Like Garen is unkillable, and you shred so much resistance with the Garen plus like the Fiddle. Like, have you ever played Slayers into Demacia? It's just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just okay. Use the rest of your free rolls here. Oh, you don't. Oh, you just sit. Okay. I mean, this is fine for a turn, but like the strength of our board did not increase by that much. You could also technically play around the Ziggs. You don't. Yeah, you could play around the Ziggs as well, and then just move. You don't have an attack speed item for the Ziggs, so probably not. Like Void Staff, it'd be like Void Staff, JG. I'm out of there.
Yeah, I think I made a mistake before I took the TG off Poppy, then put it on the galley, but I needed to unlock the Zig, so I probably should have just left it on the Poppy.
I mean, Ziggs is definitely high cap, but our items for him are like kind of like eh. Let's see, yeah, Ziggs is on the same level as these 3, which means that you don't have to play the Ziggs.
The other thing I was couldn't decide on is if a Sona 3 itemizer or a Ziggs 2 itemizer is better in this comp.
Oh, Ziggs 2 will be better. It's okay. A bit dependent on the quality, or not the quality, on what the actual items are. So like this, if you put this build on Ziggs, it's not very good. Like he's gonna take like 10 days to cast, and then his auto attacks, like he will not be getting like many off. That's why it would be like Void Staff, be like it'd probably actually just be Void plus the Rab JG, and then you just solo arc the Lux, and that's probably fine. Like here you just go the Rage Blade, right? Rage Blade is taken. Okay, you take. Oh, we don't have anti heal yet. Okay, yeah, Marla here is very very good. Okay, yeah, so like this board is good, but we didn't find a single Fiddlesticks or Senna. Okay, now we have Senna. Okay, I'd much rather play Senna 1 than Ziggs 1 here. Like Ziggs is great if he has items. Without items, it's not good. And then yeah, for your positioning, you should like, I don't think Garen should ever be in this hex. Garen should always be in like some middle hex to allow the opponents to wrap around him. So like if Garen was here and then Poppy was here, this is your like BIS positioning.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll wrap up this VOD here because we are almost out of time. But I want to see, did you end up hitting the Garen 3?
Yeah, I ended up hitting the Garen 3 as uncontested, so I just
Okay.
full sent and went for it.
Honestly, that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Um,
But I definitely wouldn't have won if I didn't hit the Garen 3, because I think that last fight was pretty close. So I guess in other ways to optimize a board, as you said, I would just look for drop down to Demacia 5 and look for 5 costs.
yeah, and then move your. I think it would just be Morello Arch on the Lux, and then it'd be triple damage here with the attack speed mainly onto the Ziggs with this. But you can also just not play the Ziggs and then play like Senna instead. And then I would have taken the spat off of the 5/5 carousel, and then look. I mean, yeah, you're given a chain. I mean, sometimes you miss the chain, but like there's always risks in like anything that we take. So yeah, and then you would be able to play. I think you'd still play 7 Demacia, but now what that basically means is you can drop Xin Zhao and play the Senna or the Shyvana. But yeah, we definitely should have dropped down to 5 Demacia here. The Zen, even without the +1, like these Shyvanas, these Fiddlesticks are incredibly important to the cap of our board. Also, let me take a look at the 6/1. We couldn't find, there's no third damage item for our Lux. Okay, you just go Adaptive Helm on the Lux, and then you just 3-item her. Usually Swain middle will cast anyway. Like this Warmogs on the Swain, it doesn't even guarantee a second cast, so basically it just adds, let's see how much is it. Isn't it just like 500? Okay, this is basically, it's just adding probably around like, I don't know, 800 HP to our board instead of more damage for like third item Lux. Because if this somehow, if there's an effect to this that says like, oh, gain HP and guarantees a second cast, then I'm in. But like with this super tank, an extra like 800 to 900 HP on our board doesn't really do anything. I would rather just like 3-item the Lux. So then you're 3-item, 3-item, 3-item.
Yeah, cool. That makes sense.
Okay, so SJ, that should be it for today. Pretty good game. Like even though it's a first, I think this was still a good VOD to choose because there were a lot of decisions to be made. For your stage 1, make sure that you check your Ionia and your Void every game, and then if your Void is any combination of like Husk or like Adrenaline on like 2/4, then probably don't play into it. I think that's just because even if you hit your board on stage 4, it's pretty weak. So that's that. For the Yordles, only hold the Yordles if it like comes to you. If like don't try to force it. And then like Milio over the Jinx, and then also would have held the Echo. Pristiki here is good. You could use like your free rules on 2/2 here to see like, oh, if you can unlock Bard for free. And then on 2/3 here, I would take Water Axiom.
Yeah.
And then on 2/4, I would not slam the JG. I would just look to make other rod items and then use the leftover components. I would be angling Steadfast and I would slam it. Like, let's say like I somehow upgraded my entire board on like 2/5, and then I can 2-streak if I slam the Steadfast, then I would slam the Steadfast. But this is perfectly fine to just 5 loss and then like spike on 3/1.
Yeah, cool.
All right, SJ, any final questions here before we end it off?
Nah, that all pretty much makes sense. Appreciate your time today, man.
Yeah, no worries. If you have any other questions, just shoot me a DM and then I will get back to you.